It's the most wonderful time of the year. No, it's not. For a lot of people, it's actually the worst time of the year. This is the time of year that Hallmark and movies and songs and TV shows tell us that we should all be happy and we should all gather around family and friends and loved ones and just have a merry old time.
The magic of Christmas can mean everything to a kid.
That's the magic of Christmas.
The magic of Christmas.
The magic of Christmas.
The magic of Christmas?
Talk about the magic of Christmas.
Unfortunately, that's just not the reality for a lot of us. For some of us, we moved into an RV alone. Some of us thought maybe we would find community because there are YouTubers out there who say it's so easy, you're going to come out here and you're going to make the best friends you've ever met in your life. But unfortunately, some of us are introverts, right? And painfully shy. And walking into a giant group and saying, hey,
will you be my friend?
Or even just going into a big group of people may not be comfortable. And I've said this in other videos before. If you had problems making friends before you came into an RV or before you moved into an RV, it's not going to get any easier living in an RV. I'm Carolyn, and this is my RV life. I have been living and traveling solo in an RV for 8.5 years. I've spent almost all of those alone on Christmas. Pretty much. No, I've spent a few with friends, but I still choose mostly to be alone. I know a lot of people choose to be alone and you're happy with it and you love it, whether you live in an RV or not. But there are some people who are living nomad lives or traditional lives who are alone and might be struggling. Or maybe you're not alone, but you just feel alone. How many of you can relate? I know a lot of you can. I've heard from you. So today let's talk about some things that we can do. And I'm going to call this video and kind of focus on how to be alone on Christmas. But this doesn't necessarily mean being physically alone. This means if you feel alone, here are some things that you can do that I think might brighten your mood a little bit, maybe help you feel a little more at peace with yourself and your situation, maybe. I'm not making any promises here. But here are some things that I have done. Before I moved into an RV, after my divorce, I was spending every Christmas alone. And I was having a hard time adjusting to that. I hadn't gotten to the point where I was totally comfortable being alone yet. I hadn't even gotten to the point of realizing that I actually like to be alone because there was so much pressure put on me as a person and as a woman to... Especially, I need a man in my life. Christmas isn't complete if I don't have a man. Where's Santa Claus and, that rugged cowboy man who's gonna come and save the day and save me from myself? Those corny Hallmark movies. I was still believing that.
I'd like a boyfriend for Christmas.
For many years after my divorce and in the spirit of trying to find Mr. Right, I found a million, that's slight exaggeration, Mr. Wrongs. And so it did take me a while to learn not only how to be alone, but to celebrate it, to enjoy it. I love being alone. And I know some people watch my videos and can't understand how I like so much solitude, but I do. But it took me a while to get here, and I'm going to share with you some things that I have learned along the way, especially around this time of year, and especially on Christmas Day. I want to give you some tips for how to enjoy being alone. But these tips aren't just for Christmas. You can use these tips any old time. Before I get to that, though, just a reminder, it is almost the end of the year, which means you're going to need a new calendar. I only have about 40 calendars left, so go ahead, click the link in the video description below to get your 2025 Carolyn's RV Life calendar now before it's too late. A couple of the campsites listed in the calendar now have GPS coordinates, so you can either visit the site yourself or check it out virtually. There's also a playlist this year so that you can see the videos associated with each picture, so you can get more behind the scenes even. So it's a private playlist just for people who have the calendar, and they're just $21.99 including shipping for anyone in the US, and just $25.99 internationally. And if you live in Canada, yes, the strike is over, but we can't ship them yet. We tried shipping calendars the other day, and the US Post Office said that Canada is not accepting shipments until they get caught up, I guess, on their backlog from the strike. So we expect to be able to ship them, according to the post office, in about 2 weeks. But click the link in the video description below, or scan the QR code, and hurry up and order your calendar before it's too late and you miss out. So my first tip for being alone on Christmas Day and enjoying it is to make yourself, or buy yourself, treat yourself to your favorite meal. I spent all Thanksgiving Day cooking. I literally spent the whole day cooking one of my favorite meals. A vegan meal of lentil loaf, which is mock meatloaf basically made out of lentils, and mashed potatoes and corn and sweet potatoes. Pretty much the traditional Thanksgiving dinner that I grew up with. I made that for myself, especially at Thanksgiving, right after the election. I was feeling nostalgic for something really in a way that never was. I think about that sometimes, how nostalgia makes us feel nostalgic for an idea of something rather than the reality of something. And I think about that a lot. My childhood was extremely traumatic, yet I still do feel nostalgic for certain things in my childhood. I guess because when I was growing up, I didn't realize how tragic and awful my childhood was, because I was living it. It was just my reality, and I was too young to know that everybody doesn't live this way. This isn't how everybody lives. But so having a meal, making a comfort meal, was very comforting for me. It was something that I wanted to do on Thanksgiving Day, so close to the election, just kind of a nostalgic, but also making my own food. And this is why I think if you like to cook, or if you think you might want to learn how to cook, I think making your own food is an ultimate act in self-care. You're feeding yourself. You're providing for you like a mother should, right? And I mean, traditionally in our society, mothers cook the food, they provide the food, they go shopping for the food. Even if you have a home garden, usually it's the woman who tends to the garden. So it's a very maternal thing. So for me, cooking for myself is a way to take care of myself in a way that maybe I didn't have before. It's a very nurturing, very maternal self-care act. And so I do recommend, if you can, if you like it, I mean, if you absolutely hate cooking, don't torture yourself. Go out and buy a meal. That works too, right? You're still feeding yourself. You're still nurturing yourself. But for me, there's something about the act of choosing my ingredients, choosing healthy ingredients, knowing exactly what's going in my food. I can regulate how much sugar I want to put in it. Like sweet potatoes. I actually splurged this year and put a little brown sugar in my sweet potatoes. I don't normally do that, just a little butter and like cinnamon or something. But I did put a little, I figured after the election I deserved a little sugar in my sweet potatoes. So that number one tip for enjoying being by yourself on Christmas is to cook yourself or go get yourself a good meal. And don't skimp. This is the time to splurge. Splurge a little bit. Even if it's a little bit over your budget, go get something good. Don't go get junk food. Don't go to the drive-thru. Get something that's going to nurture your body. Something good, something healthy-ish. Save your splurge for dessert. And that's my next one. Don't skimp on dessert. You deserve dessert. We all deserve dessert. And don't think of Christmas as a day that, I need to stay on my diet. I mean, unless, of course, it's for health reasons. Like, if you have, butter, it's going to give you a heart attack. Don't do that. But it is a day to splurge. It's a day to spoil yourself, to nurture yourself. And sometimes nurturing ourselves means treating ourselves. When I was dealing with my binge eating disorder, again, after my divorce, after I quit drinking, it resurfaced. I discovered after I quit drinking that my first addiction was sugar, so hence all the talk about sugar in my videos. I have to be very careful. I love sugar. I don't binge anymore, not even close, but I can still overdo sugar. One of the things that my therapist helped me reframe, don't call it a cheat day, because cheating makes it sound like you're doing something bad. Instead, call it a free day. So Christmas is your free day, where you can splurge on those things. You can have those chocolates you've been craving. You can have that pecan pie you've been craving, or that pumpkin pie, or the cake. So go ahead and get yourself your favorite dessert. And this is another thing too I learned in the process of dealing with my binge eating disorder. If you want something, if you're craving something, get it. Like, I was craving a croissant for months and months and months in Pahrump. There's a French bakery. They had almond croissants that were freaking amazing. I was craving it from the first day of October that I set foot in Pahrump, and then I was like, no, you know what, I'll do it after the election. And then I was like, no, you know what, I'll wait until Thanksgiving. And then Thanksgiving came and passed, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then I finally broke down and got a croissant, and something happened. They're not nearly as good as they used to be. But the point is, I learned that if I keep depriving myself of what I really want, I'm going to eat a whole bunch of other junk when I really should have just had that first thing I wanted, and then maybe I would have been satiated, right? And then I wouldn't have had to eat all that other junk. So yeah, you know what? Sometimes we need some willpower, and we can't eat everything we want, but sometimes you just need to give in to that splurge, okay? And have a free day. And Christmas is your free day. One of the things that has made my solo RV life even easier is carrying a Bluetti portable power station. The Bluetti Elite 200 version 2. It's been a lifesaver, especially in the winter, but even when I'm traveling in the eastern part of the country and I have a lot of tree cover, so I'm not getting the full solar like I get in the desert. The Bluetti portable power stations have changed my life. I no longer have to worry about running out of power after dark. I can run my laptop, I can run my Starlink, I can run my microwave. With the Bluetti Elite 200 version 2, I can plug my entire RV into it with a simple 110 adapter, which everybody should have. I can use my outlets, and I never have to worry about running out of power when it gets dark at 4:30, which it has been. And the Bluetti Elite 200 version 2 is the most versatile 2,000 watt hour portable power station on the market, with groundbreaking improvements in design, functionality, and performance. You're going to get a 2,000 watt hour power station in a 1,000 watt hour size. That is huge for a lot of us who are older, on the road, not maybe able to lift as much. We have limited space, so it's got a more compact design even than the 200L. It's only 54 pounds, which for a 2,000 watt hour power station is unheard of. So not only are you going to get more than 2,000 watt hours out of the Elite 200, got more than 2,600 watts of power, so you're going to be able to power almost any electronic device you're going to need in your RV life. A lot of you have been asking me about CPAPs, and yes, this will run a CPAP, probably for multiple nights for the basic version of a CPAP. And if you live in a sticks and bricks and you are looking for a backup power source, the Bluetti Elite 200 will run the average refrigerator for almost a full day, almost a full 24 hours on a full charge. And with the Bluetti Elite 200, you can charge 9 things at once, including 4 110, 120 outlets, and USB and USB-C, and a cigarette lighter. And it charges super fast. It'll go from 0 to 80% when you're plugged into shore power in just a little over an hour. You can also charge it with solar, and with the new Bluetti Charger 1, you can even charge it 6 times faster than you can with a cigarette lighter input while you're driving. Bluetti is having some amazing Christmas sales right now, up to 56% off most models. So you need to use my link in the video description below. You can also use my discount code for an extra savings. So shop now, whether you've been thinking about getting one for yourself or that special someone on your list that you worry about power outages, or they live a nomadic life. They love to spend time outdoors, but they also love to be able to power their electronics. Don't forget, tariffs are coming. Tariffs pretty soon are going to be a fact of life. So if you've been thinking about getting a Bluetti portable power station, get it now while the Christmas sales are on and before the 30 up to 60% tariffs hit. So shop now using the link in the video description below. The second way you can enjoy being alone on Christmas is to indulge in your favorite activities. Do whatever your heart desires. Watch all your favorite old movies. Read your favorite book. Go for a walk. Go visit a friend. If somebody's been on your mind, or call that friend, just indulge in whatever makes you happy. A spa day. If you live near hot springs, go to the hot springs. Take a nap in the afternoon. If that's something that you would like to do and you don't do, just do what makes you happy. It's your day to make whatever you want it to be. Make your own new traditions. You know, for me, basically, one of my traditions is cooking for myself on Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, and watching some of my favorite movies, even having a marathon of some of my favorite shows or movies.
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Let's not get caught.
That can be a great way to kind of get out of the funk of I'm alone, I don't want to be alone, and instead just reframe it and say, I'm choosing to be alone today. And that brings me to number 3. I think it's number 3. A lot of us might be choosing to be alone this year because times are weird. We may be making the choice to stay away from certain family members this year. It might be too difficult and still too raw to face family members for whatever reason. I'm not going to get into it in this video. And so whether that is the case, this year you're choosing to stay away from family members, or whether you're on the road and you've been on the road and you're alone, or you're home by yourself, realize for most of us, no matter what our situation, being alone is a choice. We chose to move into an RV. And yeah, you know what? Maybe we haven't met that community that we thought we would. Maybe we haven't made the best friends we thought we would yet. You know, if you still want that, you can maybe find it next year. But right now, you have made a choice. You would rather be alone, living your dream. You would rather be alone, protecting your mental health and your values and your beliefs. You have chosen to be alone rather than settle for something that doesn't serve you. And you should be proud of that. Not everybody can do that. Most of us, for all of our lives, settled because we were told it's wrong to want to be alone. Well, it's wrong to be alone, and who the hell would want to be alone, right? So pat yourself on the back. If you're alone today, most likely it's because you choose to be alone. You choose to not allow negative, toxic energy into your life. Or you just choose to protect your sanity and your mental wellness, your mental health. And that's something to be proud of. Number 4. What number am I on? Put up a Christmas tree. Decorate. Even if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and put up a Christmas tree on Christmas Day. If that'll make you happy, you could probably go to the Christmas tree lawn on Christmas Day and get a great deal. And leave it up for as long as you want to leave it up. I'm thinking I'm going to leave mine up forever just because it's so cute. Get a Christmas tree, put some decorations up, splurge, just do what makes you happy. Another thing you can do if you're alone on Christmas and you don't want to be is go out and find community. And if you're living in an RV, there are plenty of communities. Just join Facebook and search for RV life or RV living or RV camping. There are a million Facebook communities. There's RVing women. There are groups for LGBTQ+. There are vegan RV community. So just go searching on Facebook and you'll be able to find a community. And if you are more outgoing and not painfully shy, you can, start now, Sunday night, go check out one of those groups and maybe you can find somebody to hang out with on Christmas. Another thing you can do is volunteer. No matter where you are, if you're living in an RV or you're stationary, there are organizations who are always looking for volunteers. Christmas Day, I heard, can be a little hard. Everybody wants to volunteer on Christmas Day. So even if you can't get a volunteer opportunity on Christmas Day, maybe go show up anyway. Show up at that soup kitchen and just say, hey,
I'm here to help you.
is there anything I can do? And if not, maybe just sit down and have a meal and enjoy that company, or go to a restaurant or go to a movie if you can't volunteer. If you just need to be around other people, there's a lot of ways that you can do that without like the huge pressure of going to a party. Just like I said, just go to a cafe. Sometimes for me, that's all I need. I just need to go and see people from a distance. Do my shopping, run my errands, and that's all the peopling I need for a while. And maybe that's all you need. Another thing you can do is check out meetups. I remember back in the day, again, after my divorce, I think I did a vegan Thanksgiving meetup. We met at a Chinese restaurant, bunch of people I didn't know, but it was a bunch of people who were alone on Thanksgiving and who eat vegan and, wanted to get together with some other people. So look at the meetups in your area and see if there are other people who want to get together and do something on Christmas Day, have a meal, go for a walk. Maybe go to a movie together, as a group. So there are definitely a lot of options out there for finding people to hang out with if you're not painfully shy and that sounds like something that you might want to do to meet some new people. And another thing you can do is go out and get some exercise. If walking isn't part of your regular routine, I walk every single day, but if it isn't something that is part of your regular routine, fresh air is a healer. Fresh air and nature it feeds the soul. And also this time of year, depending on what part of the world or what part of the country you're living in, you might be a little vitamin D deficient. If you haven't had a lot of sunshine, or even if you do spend time outside, but it's cold and you're all bundled up, there's a good chance you're not getting enough vitamin D. So maybe, if it's okay with your doctor, always check with your doctor, but maybe you need a vitamin D supplement. A vitamin D deficiency can cause muscle aches, it can cause fatigue, it can cause depression. So if you're feeling a little down, it could be that you need some vitamin D in your diet. So take a little vitamin D if you're a doctor, check with your doctor first. Don't listen to me, check with your doctor, and go for a walk. Get some fresh air. And don't worry, you don't have to walk miles. Just go out in your backyard. Go walk around your yard. Go walk to your mailbox. Go to your city park and park 10 spaces away and walk to a park bench and maybe just sit on a park bench and enjoy the afternoon and enjoy some people watching. Getting outside and getting fresh air is a huge boost for your mood, I gotta tell you. So that might be another thing you can do. The other thing is, I did talk about splurging and treating yourself and having dessert, but be careful about the sugar that you consume. You don't want to overdo it. I notice that when I eat sugar, because I don't really eat a ton of sugar in my diet, but I do like my desserts, and I'll go in phases where I'll make a dessert and I'll have a little bit every night for dinner, but when I overdo it, I can feel it everywhere. My muscles start hurting more. I'm more tired. I'm more cranky. Like, it affects my mood. It affects everything. And I'm not talking about a lot of sugar. I'm talking about maybe a few teaspoons, but I don't eat a lot of sugar. So when I eat it, I really, really notice it. So don't overdo the sugar. Don't overdo the alcohol. Don't overdo the shopping. All of these are tips to do in moderation, but overdoing the shopping is just going to create problems further down the line. Overdoing the alcohol is, we all know, you'll end up hungover, and alcohol is a depressant too. Alcohol is very bad for you. It spikes your blood sugar. It causes depression. It's just You know, having a glass of wine or two, if you can handle that, fine, but don't overdo the alcohol, don't overdo the sugar, because you'll end up feeling like crap. So everything I said here, do in moderation. Sure, go ahead and splurge, but you know what too? If you're one of those people like I used to be, like you can't have a pie in the house because you'll eat the whole thing, find something that you can splurge on, which isn't going to trigger you. There's still things I can't have. I can't have cereal in the house. Any cereal at all. There's a new gluten-free something crunch. It's super expensive. It doesn't have any sugar in it. It's got something else to sweeten it. High in protein. These Catalina Crunch. So good. I can't have it in the house. One bag is gone in 2 days. There's things I just can't have in the house. So if you do want to splurge on something, if you're one of those people who like, if you buy a pack of Oreos, you're going to eat it in a night, don't go do that. So yeah, just try to do everything in moderation and avoid the things that are going to make you feel more alone. They're going to make you feel depressed. And remember, you're most likely, I think, you know, I say most likely you're alone by choice. I think everybody is alone by choice. We can all have people in our lives if we're not selective. If we just choose anybody to be our friends, right? But, or if we continue to hold on to toxic family members, right? But we have made a choice to not do that anymore. So celebrate that. All right, I hope you found that helpful. Oh, and the last thing, of course, is if you do want a little online community, join me on Christmas Day for my live stream. It's going to be at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. I will be giving away a lot of fun prizes, as well as the Blue Yeti hands-free. And if you missed the video and how to enter to win that, I'll put the link in the video description below. But be proud of yourself. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, no matter how you're feeling, be proud of how far you've come and who you are and what you have done in this life.
I'm proud of myself.
We have all overcome crap. Every single one of us has overcome some trauma, some adversity, and you're still here and you're still breathing. And you watch this video, which means you know you want more, you want better, and you want to feel okay. So you're doing good. And I'll see you on Christmas Day. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. I'll see you soon. I gotta find my dog.